Xbox
Yeah?
All Access. What does it mean?
Do tell.
Xbox All Access is Microsoft's latest offering of their Xbox One platform. So currently, you can get one of two models. You can get an Xbox One S or an Xbox One X.
Yes.
The difference is Xbox One X is much more 4K capable.
Woohoo, 4K.
Yeah, because that's such a not a waste of time.
Much more 4K capable?
Yes, because the Xbox One S, believe
it is.
It can play 4K Blu-rays at 4K,
But not games?
but not games.
Okay. So if you're really chasing that 4K, get the One X, I guess.
Right.
All right.
Anyway,
what's the plan?
They have announced a program called All Access, and what All Access is, it's a it's not really financing. If you want to call it that, you can, but it's basically a payment plan. Instead of shelling out $250 for an Xbox One S or $500 for an Xbox One X, you would pay $22 a month for 2 years for an Xbox One S, or $35 a month for an Xbox One X. Those don't just include the systems, though. They also include, for those 2 years that you're paying, Xbox Live Gold service, which is the, your online premium service, and then also access to Game Pass, which is kind of like Xbox's answer to PlayStation Now, except it's way better in my opinion, because you don't stream games, you download them to your system, and as long as you have Xbox Game Pass, you can play those games, and you can download as many as you want.
Okay.
And there's like over 100 games available. It's kind of like a Netflix for games.
Yeah.
And it's a really smart idea. I like it. I think other, like Sony and maybe even Nintendo, just take Nintendo a lot longer to come around. But I do think that their rivals will end up doing something similar.
Yeah.
So how this actually breaks down is, and by the way, this math is not mine. This is according to Kotaku.com. If you get the Xbox One S model, you're actually saving $130 considering all that you're getting. Because normally you would pay for Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass, which is an additional $10 a month for 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's like $240 right there, and yeah, you're actually saving about $130. For the X model, though, you're paying about what you get for, just over time.
So basically, like, if you want one of those Xboxes, but you don't really care about Game Pass or Live Gold, then you don't really want to do it.
Yeah, it may not
really worth it.
Right,
Yeah.
Not worth it. The nice thing is about these is there's no interest to go with these plans. So that's why I hesitate to call it financing. I mean, yeah, you do have 0% APR financing, but so yeah, I guess okay, stand corrected. Corrected myself. Financing. Yeah. It's kind of like a finance deal. But it's not going to be like, oh, you can extend it out 5 years, because no one wants to do that. It is
for an Xbox.
And I have actually heard that you can't just a teenager with no credit can't just walk in and get one.
Yeah. Like,
you actually have to have fairly good credit to pick this up. So they do run a credit check on you. And I think this would be good. Well, before I get into what I think, what do you think about that? I mean, we haven't really seen something like this before.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little goofy, but just the thought of like paying off like a game station. But honestly, like, I feel like it's going to happen a lot more often in the future as consoles get more expensive. Like, I don't know, I could see it like becoming like a thing like down the road, like several years from now, Well,
I hope people look at this past console generation and realize like, oh, $400 is that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Because the PlayStation 4 has never been more than $400. The Pro launched at $400 also.
Yeah.
So, but Xbox Like it launched at 500. The Xbox One X launched at 500. It still is 500. So I think 500 is just a little bit too much.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's inevitable, like later on, that they'll get more expensive. So I mean, I could see this plan kind of thing being like more popular later on. But I mean, yeah, it sounds like a good deal if you don't. But like, I don't know. I have a hard time imagining someone who's cheap enough to where they can't just shell out few $100s, just to buy the console. Like someone who's that cheap. Like, it's just kind of weird to me that someone wouldn't have that kind of money just lying around. But I mean, I don't know. But so it sounds like a pretty good option if you like the Live Gold and the Game Pass, though. I would, if I were in the market for an Xbox and I wanted the Live and the Game Pass, I would probably do that. Instead, obviously, I can't, like you said, you have to be a teenager and have good credit or whatever. Right. But, in a hypothetical situation, I would probably go for this over, the One S, over just buying the One S, because then, you get that stuff, and it does sound like a better deal in the long run.
Because it's giving you games with it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I feel like it's for different people. Whereas, like I said, if you just want the Xbox and you don't care, like real me would not care about the other stuff. I would just buy the One S. But I mean, I could see how it could be good for some people.
Yeah, and I do think that if they're doing this now, and according to VentureBeat, who I believe is the publication which originally reported on this, they did say that Microsoft was saying that it was a limited time offer. So let's just say they're doing it starting this month of September and going through the end of the year. I could see quite a lot of parents. Let's say you've already spoiled, by the way, this is like rich parents who don't limit what their kids get. Let's say you've already bought your kid the PlayStation 4, you've already bought your kid the Switch, and they don't really want an Xbox, but they want something shiny and new for Christmas. They don't have to spend that much money on this, and they can download a ton and play a ton of games immediately.
Yeah.
And play them online.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that does actually, if this is going to be available around Christmas, then there's a good chance that it's going to move a lot of numbers. But I'm with you. I think that if you've been on the fence, and I do think this also appeals to people who have been on the fence about getting an Xbox One.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I don't really see a whole lot of exclusives coming to the Xbox One. I think that they're saving all of that stuff up for the next generation. So if you're on the fence about it, what I like about the Xbox One over the PS4 is they haven't been afraid to do backwards compatibility. There are 360 games, there are original Xbox games that run on the Xbox One, and they run better.
Yeah.
I believe there are games that get patches to run at 4K on the One X, which I think is pretty cool. You don't see Sony doing that at all. So it's not a bad deal if you really liked. I feel like if you liked Xbox back in the days of the 360, and you've been looking for a reason to get back into it, this would definitely help.